Russia has said it downed drones targeting Moscow earlier today. One drone, however, went out of control and struck the same high-rise which was hit over the weekend. Russia's defense ministry has accused Ukraine of launching another terrorist attack. It comes just 2 days after 3 drones were intercepted and shot down in Moscow. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that a Russian missile strike on the city of Kryvyi Rih killed at least 6 people. A 10-year-old girl and her mother were among the victims. Zelensky described the attack on his hometown as terrorism. He added that over 350 emergency service workers have been deployed to carry out rescue operations. Junta leaders who staged a coup in Niger have accused the toppled government of giving France authorization to carry out strikes on the country. The junta said that the aim of the strikes is to free ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. France has neither confirmed nor denied these allegations. However, France has condemned the coup and urged the junta to reinstate Bazoum. The ousted president is confined to Niger's presidential palace. Niger's Prime Minister Mohamedou has given an interview to a French news channel. He said that ousted President Mohamed Bazoum will not resign. He added that Bazoum is in high spirits. Mohamedou also warned that any sanctions imposed on Niger by the West African regional bloc ECOWAS would bring an economic disaster to the country. The Niger coup has been widely condemned by West African leaders, the United States, the United Nations, African Union and the European Union. Niger's neighboring countries, Burkina Faso and Mali, have warned that military intervention against Niger would be considered a declaration of war. Burkina Faso and Mali are also coup-hit nations. They are both ruled by military juntas as well. Their warnings come after West African leaders threatened to use force to reinstate ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. Myanmar's ruling junta leaders have extended the state of emergency in the country for another 6 months. The emergency was imposed in Myanmar after the military toppled the democratically elected government in February 2021. Local media reports say that the National Defense and Security Council extended the emergency, saying time is required to prepare for the next election. In 2021, the military had said that it staged a coup because of fraud in the general elections that took place in November 2020. Iran's Foreign Minister Hossein Amir-Abdollahian held talks with his Syrian counterpart Faisal Mekdad in Tehran. The purpose of the talks is to strengthen bilateral relations between the two countries. Amir Abdollahian said that Israel is the main source of instability in West Asia. He condemned Israel's continued attacks against what it calls Iran-linked targets in Syria. Iran has been a staunch ally of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. The Israeli Supreme Court has said that all 15 judges will participate in hearings on arguments against Israel's new judicial overhaul law. This will be the first time that all judges will participate in hearings. The Supreme Court will hear petitions to strike down the law. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's judicial overhaul plan has triggered widespread protests across Israel. Protesters say that the law limits the powers of Israel's Supreme Court and is dangerous for democracy in the country. Taliban leaders and US officials met in Qatar on Monday. This was the first time the two sides met since the US pulled out of Afghanistan and the Taliban took over in August 2021. The Taliban's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that the two sides discussed confidence-building measures. This included the lifting of sanctions and travel bans and the return of Afghan central bank assets held abroad. Carlos de Oliveira, the property manager at former US President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, made his first court appearance on Monday. This is regarding Trump hoarding classified documents at his Palm Beach club. De Oliveira is accused of trying to delete security footage sought by investigators. Trump is the front runner for the Republican presidential nomination for the 2024 election. He has pleaded not guilty in the classified documents case. Thousands of Bulgarians took to the streets of the capital Sofia to protest against violence against women. This comes after a man accused of badly injuring his partner was released without charge. He is now in pre-trial detention. According to the country's National Statistical Institute, almost a third of girls in Bulgaria have experienced physical and emotional abuse. Every fifth woman has gone through some form of violence from an intimate partner. The Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO, has given an update on the Chandrayaan-3. It has left the Earth's orbit and is now on its way towards the Moon. Chandrayaan-3 is India's third lunar mission. ISRO aims to soft-land Chandrayaan-3 on the Moon. If successful, India will become the first country to soft-land its mission near the Moon's south pole. Now on to climate news. At least 11 people are dead and 27 others are feared missing in China. This is after Typhoon Doksuri wreaked havoc in the region. Roads and streets in Beijing's western suburbs have been clogged by mud and floodwater. In some districts, vehicles were seen half submerged in the mud. Residents have been using shopping carts to transfer daily necessities. City workers and excavators have been clearing the mud and damage. The maximum temperature in the US city of Phoenix is expected to fall below 43 degrees Celsius. This is for the first time in a month after the city received much-needed rainfall. Phoenix and other American cities have been dealing with record temperatures. The Indian capital, New Delhi, has recorded its cleanest air for the month of July in 4 years. The city witnessed an average air quality index of 83.71 for the month. As per data, New Delhi enjoyed a good to moderate air quality throughout July. Reports say dozens of crucial climate science projects are set to be cancelled, delayed, or restricted at the Australian Antarctic Division. This is due to budget constraints. The Cleaner Antarctica program will also be stopped. The program aimed to find remedies to the damage caused by human activity on the environment. The UNESCO has recommended against placing Australia's Great Barrier Reef on its danger list. However, it has stressed that the coral reef still remains under serious threat from global heating and water pollution. Australia has been lobbying for years to keep the reef off the endangered list. This is to avoid losing the heritage status, which could take some shine off its attraction for tourists. Meanwhile, the UN agency has recommended that Venice be added to the heritage danger list. UNESCO says the city has faced irreversible damage. This is due to a host of issues, including climate change and mass tourism. It's the second time within the space of a few years that Venice has been threatened with the blacklist. The American non-governmental organization Human Rights Watch has come up with a new report. The report says ongoing government delays pose a serious threat to Panama's indigenous Guna people. The region they inhabit faces the most severe impacts of climate change. According to the NGO's findings, Panama's government has repeatedly failed to provide the Guna people with housing and infrastructure on higher ground. A climate expert has said that heat waves often hit lower-income neighborhoods the hardest. He said that poorer neighborhoods tend to have less trees and more parking lots. Both of these can create higher ground temperatures. This in turn raises the air temperatures. He also noted that cities are still struggling to get aids such as cooling centers and subsidized air conditioning in poorer neighborhoods. In business and tech news, conversation platform X, formerly known as Twitter, has reorganized its structure. X's product and engineering team will now report to the owner Elon Musk. CEO Linda Yaccarino will oversee all the other divisions, including legal, finance, human resources, and others. Both Musk and Yaccarino will manage the Trust and Safety team. The Trust and Safety team is responsible for content moderation. The team has been under scrutiny for allegedly relaxing content guardrails, leading to a spike in harmful posts. Meanwhile, the company's giant X logo has been removed from atop its San Francisco office. This was after neighbors in the area complained of intrusive lights from the sign. Locals over the weekend recorded a video of the giant X glowing, pulsing, and strobing. Google's dominance in online search has triggered a regulatory crackdown by South Africa's antitrust body. It has recommended several remedies to improve visibility for smaller South African companies. The regulator has asked Google to add a flag identifier and a search filter for South African firms. China has announced export controls on some drones and drone-related equipment. Beijing says this is to safeguard China's national security and interests. The restrictions cover drone engines, lasers, communication equipment, and anti-drone systems, among other equipment. The controls will take effect from September 1st. China's move comes amid escalating tensions with the US. American pharmacy chain CVS will lay off some of its employees. According to reports, the layoffs could affect about 5,000 people. However, the company has not given any details about the number or scale of the job cuts. The cuts will focus on some non-customer-facing positions. The owners of German sandal maker Birkenstock are considering an initial public offering of the company. Reports say it could take place as soon as this September. If they go ahead with the listing, the company could reportedly be valued at more than $8 billion. Reports add that the financial firms Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan are advisors for the potential listing. Angela Santone, the human resource chief at AT&T, is leaving the company at the end of September. She is one of only 3 top female executives at the telecom giant. Her departure follows the company's announcement about eliminating thousands of jobs. These job cuts are a part of AT&T's new $8 billion cost reduction program. Oil giant ExxonMobil is in talks with Tesla, Ford, Volkswagen, and other automakers. Reports say this is to supply them with lithium for their electric vehicle batteries. Any discussions between Exxon and the automakers would be very preliminary. This is because presently, the oil company has no way of producing the battery material. Reports say a German data watchdog has been investigating OpenAI CEO Sam Altman's WorldCoin project. This is due to concerns over its large-scale processing of sensitive biometric data. Earlier, France's privacy watchdog had also sounded alarms over the project for the same reason. The WorldCoin project requires users to give their iris scans in exchange for a digital ID. Some countries are also offering free cryptocurrency as part of the project. Argentina's government has reached an agreement with China's central bank. Under the deal, China will secure $1.7 billion in yuan through currency swaps. This is to meet its $2.7 billion payment obligation to the International Monetary Fund. The remaining balance of the payment will be covered through a loan by the Development Bank of Latin America. Moving to sports, in cricket, the final one-day international match between India and West Indies will take place today. So far, both the teams have won a match each in the 3-match ODI series. The third and last match will be hosted at the Brian Lara Stadium in Tarouba. England won the fifth and final Ashes Test match against Australia by 49 runs. The Australian team were chasing a target of 384 but were all out for 334. Fast bowler Stuart Broad, who recently announced his retirement, helped England win the match by taking 2 wickets. The 2023 Ashes series ended in a draw, but Australia retained the Ashes because they won the previous series. England all-rounder Moeen Ali says that he will retire from Test cricket again after the Ashes Test series. The 35-year-old had overturned his earlier Test retirement to play against Australia. This was on request from the England captain Ben Stokes. Ali had initially retired from Test cricket in 2021, but was asked to return after Jack Leach suffered an injury. In the FIFA Women's Football World Cup, co-hosts Australia qualified for the knockout stage in the tournament. They beat Olympic champions Canada 4-0 to advance in the competition. Australia's round of 16 opponents will be decided after the games played today. Nigeria also advanced to the knockout stage in the FIFA Women's World Cup. Their final match in the group stage against the already eliminated Ireland ended in a draw, but Nigeria still managed to finish second in their group. Brazil midfielder Fabinho has left English Premier League giants Liverpool to join the Saudi Pro League club Al Ittihad. He has signed a 3-year deal worth $51 million with the Saudi champions. He is the second player from Liverpool to move to Saudi Arabia following the departure of captain Jordan Henderson. In some more Liverpool news, the club have named Virgil van Dijk as their new captain and Trent Alexander-Arnold as vice-captain. The 32-year-old centre-back captains the Netherlands national team and will replace Jordan Henderson. Van Dijk joined Liverpool in 2018 and has made over 200 appearances. Jordan Henderson, who served as Liverpool's captain for 8 years, joined the Saudi Pro League club Al Ittifaq last week. In tennis, America's Venus Williams has received a wildcard entry for the upcoming Western and Southern Open. Before that, the 7-time Grand Slam champion and former world number 1 will play at the Canadian Open next week. The 43-year-old returned to the court last month after having sustained a hamstring injury at the Australian Open in January. 8th-seeded Russian tennis player Lyudmila Samsonova won in the first stage of the DC Open in Washington. She defeated her US opponent 6-1, 6-3 in the women's singles category. Samsonova will next face either Sorana Christie or Petra Martic in the round of 16. In basketball, the 2-time Olympic gold medalist Brittney Griner will not play in the next 2 games for American basketball team Phoenix Mercury. The team said she will be on a break to focus on her mental health. Remember, last year the 32-year-old American was arrested and detained in Russia for almost 10 months on drug charges. In the world of entertainment, Warner Bros. Japan has criticized their US counterpart over Barbenheimer marketing. They are against co-marketing Barbie and Oppenheimer because, according to them, it trivializes the nuclear war. Warner Bros. Japan said it is quote-unquote extremely regrettable that Barbenheimer memes were shared by their US counterparts. Their statement said, and I quote, "There is currently a movement driven by overseas fans to watch the 2 movies together. We are asking the US head office to take appropriate actions. We also apologize to those who got offended." Meanwhile, Barbie movie director Greta Gerwig has opened up about the possibility of a sequel. Gerwig told a news publication, and I quote, "At this moment, it's all I've got. I feel like that at the end of every movie, I am totally zero." Gerwig also said that she is at a loss for words, seeing the amount of love her movie has received. Canadian actor Stephen Amell has said that he does not support the ongoing actors' strike. Amell is a member of SAG-AFTRA. He said, and I quote, "I support my union, but I do not support striking. I think it's a reductive negotiating tactic." The actor has become the most high-profile union member to speak out against the ongoing strike. Striking writers and actors are demanding higher pay and safety from the use of artificial intelligence in Hollywood. Actor Andrew Garfield has said that he is excited about acting in more Spider-Man films. Garfield has been a part of 3 Spider-Man movies so far. This includes the 2022 hit Spider-Man No Way Home. The actor also said that he sees an endless potential for the character of Spider-Man in the future. Fantasy drama series The Witcher's 3rd season has taken a nosedive in fan support. The 3rd season's episodes 7 and 8 have become the lowest rated episodes of the series on IMDb. This is in contrast to season 1 of The Witcher, which had delighted fans and was widely praised. K-pop star Bae Suzy has won a case against a man who harassed her online in 2015. The man posted sexually explicit content about the artist on social media. Bae Suzy's agency had sued the man. During the first trial, the man was ordered to pay a fine of about $780. He pleaded not guilty and demanded another trial. 88-year-old Oscar-winning actor Judi Dench has said that she has no plans to retire from her acting career just yet. However, she mentioned that her deteriorating eyesight is making it difficult for her to work on her craft. Dench added that it feels ghastly to be dependent on other people to learn her lines. She said, and I quote, "I can't see much, but you just deal with it and get on." Despite vision problems, Dench has starred in various recent films including Blithe Spirit and Cats. Actor Angus Cloud has died at the age of 25. Cloud is famous for starring in HBO's series Euphoria as drug dealer Fezco O'Neill. No reason has been given for the actor's death. The family statement mentioned, and I quote, "Last week he buried his father and intensely struggled with this loss." Actor Paul Reubens has died at the age of 70. Reubens is famous for playing the character of Pee Wee Herman. The nerdy character wore a grey suit and a red bow tie. The character is known for making children laugh and teaching them the importance of kindness. Reubens has died years after he was diagnosed with cancer. American actor Inga Swenson died last month at the age of 90. Swenson is famous for her role of Gretchen Krause on the sitcom Benson. She was nominated for the Emmy Award thrice for this role. Swenson made her debut on television in 1957 in an episode of the series Goodyear Playhouse.